You are all masters in your field. You are all practitioners in urban development. I don't have much experience in urban development, so I won't show any part of my knowledge in urban development. How much time you will give to me for speaking? No, sir, you give me a hint. 20 minutes, 15 minutes? Somebody can raise when you are getting bored. Then, if it should be monologue or some questions also you can ask. What I would share is the thought behind, or the idea behind, or the man behind the initiatives which have been globally acclaimed, whether it is Drink from Tap or Jaga Mission or Mukta scheme, or we can talk in some other themes as well. All of you must have seen the Puri video, the transformational video of Puri. In the words of Puri Gajapati Maharaj, who is the titular king of Puri, he is the Karta of the Puri temple. He said that in last 700 years, this has not been done. So this is like after 700 years, something has been done here. So when the thought came to do something for Puri by the Honorable Chief Minister, so somebody very important said that, are you sure you want to do this? So many years, nobody has done it. Then he said, yes, I'm pretty serious about doing this. So then they explained, in history, many kings have tried. It's not that in 700 years, nobody thought about this. So many people have tried. Kings, powerful kings, emperors, they have tried. Even in British India, some of the collectors have tried to do something. And in the recent past, Mr. J.B. Patnaik, who used to be Chief Minister 3 times, he had tried. And his own father, Biju Babu, have also tried to do something for streamlining the temple and improving the facilities or clearing up the area. So he said that, there is a huge political risk involved in case you have to take up this project. Because I have seen, the person who spoke to CM said, I have seen the chief ministers who started with full enthusiasm, stopped the project after 15 days or 1 month because they know that they are getting into some troubled waters which may finish their political career and government may fall. That is the kind of attachment people have with this temple. So you do one mistake, your political career will be closed. You are playing actually with fire. So that is the feedback which they gave to Honorable CM. So he said that I am in my 5th term. People have bestowed so much love and affection on me, and they have reposed so much faith and trust on me. And people of Odisha has so much love, affection, trust, faith on Lord Jagannath. If I can't do this for the people who have reposed so much trust and faith on me, I don't think in history will judge me very wrongly. I'll take the risk. I am ready for it. I'll forego my government, but I'll get this thing done. So this is the man behind all the initiatives which you are seeing. That conviction. Conviction for a larger good. Conviction for something which he believes that it should be done, whatever is the cost may be. I gave this example to tell about the person who did Drink from Tap, who did Jaga Mission, all out of the box thinking. So he is our Chief Minister. So you all know Jaga Mission. I remember the evening when we spoke about Jaga Mission. I used to be collector of a district called Ganjam. Mr. Mati was also collector some time back before me. There used to be a small fishing town called Gopalpur in the port, in the coastal Ganjam. Whenever I used to go there, I will get a petition. It's a small urban area, very small urban area. I'll get petition. 80, 100 people will come. Sir, we are living here for 300 years, 200 years, but we don't have land rights. I as collector tried my level best, but nothing could be done because the laws were not enabling. Even if you want to settle, even if you want to help those people who are living there for 200 years, 250 years, you don't have a scope of settling land with them. So, when I came to Chief Minister's office, when this question was posed, how do we deal with the urban land issue? I discussed with the Honorable CM. He said that in rural areas, if people are staying for so many years, after 30 years, you settle the land with rural people. What is the problem with urban people if they are staying for so many years? Why do we discriminate this? So the logic which was given was that in urban area, the land value is too high. So there is chance of corruption, there is chance of manipulation of records, there is chance that the government may get defamed going into this. The Chief Minister was very clear. He was very compassionate. Why people staying in urban areas 50 years, 40 years, 60 years, why they should not have land rights? Whatever technology we can use to map who is staying for how long. We'll make the process transparent. We will involve the community, but we'll go ahead and give them land rights. That's how this epic, historic, landmark decision to settle land for urban poor came. So it was clearly calibrated, decided to do it in phases. First phase in NAC and municipality areas. And we made it very clear that it will be non-transferable. It will be heritable but non-transferable. So people appreciated, and thanks to the department's initiatives involving the community, technology, we have got a great model, great successful model. We still have some way to go in corporation areas, but we have done a good job. So here also I want to show the hand behind this magic, our Chief Minister, who had the compassion that why differentiate between poor of rural and urban? Let's do it for the urban poor as well. You have to have that risk-taking ability. You have to be completely convinced. I will take the risk, but I will make people happy. How many people will do it? This is something which you all will appreciate and acknowledge that nobody has done it throughout the world. That is when, what's his name, sir, who came from UK? Norman Foster. He learned about this from Mr. Ratan Tata or some newspaper articles. And he said that I want to volunteer. This is something I was looking forward. Throughout the world, if someone does something for slum dwellers, poor people who are the engines, who are the soul of service delivery in urban area, somebody will treat them with dignity, give them the respect they deserve. So that's what Honorable CM thought he will do. He always takes that respect and dignity of people who work for us, who work for the towns. Here, in this case, the slum dwellers. So when I spoke about his compassion for both the poor, whether it is urban or rural, it is the same. That only translated into Mukta scheme. When no state had done any scheme for labor-intensive programs, employment generation programs in urban areas, our Chief Minister decided, post-COVID we did that, during COVID. So that gave us a scope that we should run the extra mile for the urban poor as well. So that's how the trend-setting Mukta scheme was set. I believe many states are now doing the urban poor labor-intensive programs. So if you take all these things, you see a leader who is committed, who has the ability to take risk, who is sympathetic, who is compassionate, who thinks people as first. He could have monetized the land which he has settled with the poor and made some crores of rupees for the state exchequer. He didn't want to do that. He wanted them to give a dignified living. in situ settlement, not shifting them, uprooting them, and putting them in those high rises, which mostly becomes challenging to make it successful. One more example I'll give. The Special Secretary spoke about Mo Sarkar. How many governments in the country or throughout the world will have the conviction to take feedback from people on government services? It is our Chief Minister's idea. You go to a restaurant, you come to Taj, you have a meal, they ask you for your feedback. How do you rate the taste of the food? How do you rate the quality of food, service? All these things are ranked because you are a customer and the customer satisfaction is very important. So for a commercial establishment, if customer satisfaction is so important, for a government who runs on people's money, who runs on public finances, for that government and its leader, citizen satisfaction, citizen feedback is very, very important. That's how he introduced the concept of Mo Sarkar. Any citizen who is going to any government office throughout the state has an option of giving a feedback to the government, and his feedback is respected. How do we do it? Any citizen who is going to any government office, in the first phase we selected 4 government offices which will have the maximum interaction, where people generally go with lot of stress. Hospitals, government hospitals. Number 2 is police stations, where people go with stress. And then we took 2 departments where generally there is a perception that corruption is high and harassment is high. One is transport department, the other one is the sub-registration department. These are the 4 departments which we took to implement this Mo Sarkar scheme. Anyone who goes to a police station, his phone number is registered in a portal called the Mo Sarkar portal. And anyone who goes to a hospital, his phone number is also registered, her phone number. So anyone who goes to any government office throughout the state, like for example, we have, I believe, whatever 1,000 government offices we have, every day we get a footfall of about 3.5 to 4 lakh people visiting different government offices. All their phone numbers are captured. And these phone numbers come to a portal. And from this portal, random numbers are picked out by the system to the Chief Minister of the state. He can decide whichever department he wants to call. He can call urban development, he can call police, he can call health, any department. He picks up the phone. There are 10 phone numbers. He calls, okay, you went to this hospital today, this public hospital. How was the treatment there? Are you satisfied with the treatment given by the doctor? Were you provided with free medicines which the government is providing? Or you are asked to go outside for treatment? Or you are asked to go outside for tests? Were you treated with dignity and in a professional manner? These are the questions the Chief Minister asks. So it starts from the Chief Minister and it goes to the concerned Minister of the department, the Secretary of the department, the Chief Secretary. So far, we have made more than 2 million calls in the last 4 years. 2 million calls. This would be the largest feedback system anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world, where 2 million calls, these are all computerized. Every call, when you make, you take feedback. Based on the feedback, it's not a grievance redressal. There is a difference between grievance redressal and feedback call. What one does in a grievance redressal? I went to a police station, the service was not good or something. So you pick up the call and talk to the police officer and say that you have not done a good job. Solve this issue of this person. This is grievance redressal. In Mo Sarkar, what we do, if we get a bad feedback from any institution, any office, so we make another 100 calls to the same office, whoever has gone 1 week before and 1 week after. So we make an opinion about that institution, how that institution is functioning. For example, one of the biggest challenges we have in urban development department is planning department of any development authority. That is where maximum negative feedback comes in Mo Sarkar. I keep disturbing the urban development department because now it has improved. So then if you get a negative feedback, you see another 100 calls, 50 calls you make to the same institution, form an opinion, whether it is an individual indiscretion or an individual behaving, or an individual officer or a staff is behaving in an unprofessional manner, or there are institutional systemic issues which need changes in policy, changes in system, changes in the way things are done. This is what is seen. That is Mo Sarkar. It's not a grievance redressal. So what you come up with changes in policy, you come up with changes in laws, you come up with changes in things which otherwise a normal person will not be able to get it done. So it is bigger than a grievance redressal, and we get lot of satisfaction doing Mo Sarkar because you will know the pulse of people. In democracy, it's very important to know the pulse of people, which department is going wrong. You will know the satisfaction level of people in different verticals, whether it is urban development, rural development, drinking water, police, health, every department we will have a feedback system. And you will change I'll give a small example. One day I was calling a parent who had availed, we have a flagship scheme in health called the Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana health card. It's like a debit card in which every family has access to 10 lakh rupees if the patient is a female and 5 lakh rupees if the patient is a male. So this person had availed 5 lakh rupees. So randomly I got that phone number. I called that person and asked him what happened. Is your son saved? It is showing that your son had a heart issue. I was very surprised. The son ka age was put as 20 or 21. I was very surprised that 21 years mein what heart disease somebody can have. It was said that heart related issue. So when I asked the father, he started crying. He said that I lost my son. I said, oh, sorry. I called you because you have utilized 5 lakh rupees. I thought maybe you would have been able to save the son. What happened to him? So he said that my son had consumed poison. He tried to commit suicide. He had taken a pesticide, herbicide called paraquat. And he told me, he made me aware that this paraquat pesticide, herbicide, has no antidote. So anyone who takes this paraquat, they die. They can't be saved. Whatever amount of money you spend, you can't save them. So this father ka request to us, he gave a feedback. Sir, this has been banned in many countries. India has not banned. And I would sincerely request, state has power to ban this chemical for 3 months at one go. So if you ban it, we'll be very happy. You do an analysis in Odisha. These young kids, whoever is committing suicide, most of them consume this paraquat, knowing very well that there is no antidote for this. So we did a small research, very unfortunate incident. We did a small research and found out maximum kids who commit suicide, they know this chemical and they are taking. So government took a decision to ban it for 3 months, and we successfully banned it for 3 months. Now we have returned to Government of India to ban it for further time. Why I gave this example is, see the kind of feedback you get. A citizen get a chance to get a feedback. You have an entire system in government. Agriculture department will look at which is an effective herbicide by which I will improve the productivity of agriculture. It won't do a talking with health department to find out which herbicide or which pesticide is causing suicides. I gave an example of how this Mo Sarkar has been helping us in shaping so many schemes, so many laws are getting amended. Behind this again is our Chief Minister who wants to listen to people. In democracy, he says that you keep your ears close to the ground, hear the people's voice, then you will be very successful in giving what people want. So this is part of the 5T, that Mo Sarkar, I don't know how many of you know the meaning of Mo Sarkar. Mo Sarkar is my government. So citizens should feel that this is my government. Whatever I want, this government will deliver for me. And through my money, my taxpayer money, this government is functioning. I should be treated with dignity and I should get a professional response wherever I go to, whichever government office I go, wherever I have an interface with government, this is what should happen. So that is the reason why we have got great results in tackling corruption. We have got great results in introducing transparency to a great extent in government services because of this Mo Sarkar intervention. So these are some things which I told all of you, shared with all of you to drink from tap. This is also our Honorable Chief Minister, one of those days when we were discussing, when we were thinking about pipe water supply. Then he said, can't we also aspire to have someday like some of those European countries which have, you don't have to boil or you don't have to use reverse osmosis filters, where poor people will boil or poor people will use. Why don't we have something like that in our towns? That's how the drink from tap idea came. So when we wanted to introduce drink from tap, we had an option of which all areas we should introduce drink from tap. The Chief Minister was very clear that we should introduce also in slum areas when we introduced in developed areas. People in slums should also get access to the best quality water, like mineral water quality water. So that is the idea behind drink from tap. I shared about Jaga Mission, I shared about Mukta, I shared something on Mo Sarkar. All these things to say that in a democracy, if you have a leader who has commitment, who has conviction, who has risk-taking abilities, then it is easy for all of us to work in that system. That ecosystem is very compassionate. You get freedom, you get independence, your work is recognized. I know that all of us have joined together here, whether you are in community-based organizations or NGOs or urban planners or civil servants or political leaders, all of us are in public service to make that small impact or big impact, whatever impact we can make in people's lives. Today is better than yesterday and tomorrow will be much better. That is that milestone with which we all work. So thanks for giving me an opportunity to sharing some of what the leadership thinks about how we should look at public service. In case anyone has any questions, one or two questions, I can take up. Yeah, please.
I would like to know very basic things like what's behind this dress, which I have been following you, almost 5 years. You are in this similar get-up for almost every day of your work. That's one thing. And second,
sorry, I couldn't listen properly.
Your dress code, the way you wear, it's almost similar every day. And I follow it up greatly. For last 5 years almost, I have been following you, and it's almost same every day. The second, I would like to know, I do not have a great belly, but you could see that, many youngsters.
I think you want to make it a little light. Maybe lunchtime. Yeah,
sir, but there are many youngsters as well as engineers and many officials who after 30, 40 they have a big belly to handle. You still look very young and flat.
Thank you. I think you all must have known what Mark Zuckerberg said, or Obama said about dressing. Very simple logic. It's the same thing what our Chief Minister also follows. Why do you break your head every day morning to select a shirt color and a trouser color and match it with a... It's okay, your identity is not what you wear. Your identity is what is there behind you, inside you, here, or whatever here. That should be your identity. In case of Mark Zuckerberg, maybe the way he designed things, he does his business, he creates stuff. So he has very less time to think about what combination. I think that's how, and our chief minister is the same. Why should I look nice in a white kurta and pajama, and people like me that way. So, and as regards fitness, I think everyone in public sphere should have a fit body and a fit mind. If you are fit, your efficiency improves so much, and the impact you want to make amongst people, the impact you want to create in your sector is multiplied, tripled, quadrupled, and makes you feel light. Otherwise, you will be worried about how much you will walk and how much you will eat, and how much. It's very simple to follow these things. I always tell the college kids, whoever I go and speak, half an hour for your physical fitness and 15 minutes for your mental fitness. See the output you will give. Great output it will come. I have been one of the practitioners of this, and I have never felt bored doing that. Every day, repeatedly you do it, but every day you learn something good, and every day you feel more calmer. All the noises are cut out. When you take care of your 15 minutes for your meditation, all the sounds, noises, everything cut, and something comes from internally telling that, okay, do this, it will be successful. Do that, that will be successful. Thank you. It was a very different question. Any other questions? Yeah. Mike.
And listening about community-centeredness, the question I had is actually not a question, but maybe it is a question. What about more Prithvi?
Sorry?
What about more Prithvi? What about more environment?
Okay.
And so how do people and environment both form a center in this country?
Okay, thank you. Odisha is one of the few states where the forest growth is increasing every year. Odisha is one of the few states where the forest cover is growing every year. So somebody asked, what is the reason for that? Our programs, our schemes, our initiatives, everything is rooted on community involvement. We involve community to a great extent. You all must have heard about Mission Shakti, the self-help group movement which the Honorable CM started. I would tell a line about Vana Surakya Samiti, VSS, Joint Forest Management. We are one of the pioneers, and we have got great success in Vana Surakya Samiti, and environment has been very close to our heart, the Chief Minister's heart. So when somebody asks how your forests are increasing every year when most of the places it's going down, I only said that it is there in the blood of our Chief Minister, and he makes sure all of us imbibe that value of respecting nature, giving back to the environment. So we do, I think we are one of the few states who have got global climatic change planning, budgeting, and made, I think some of you must be partnering on climate change budgeting in our scheme. I'm not sure which all agencies are involved. So that's how we tackle environment. Thank you. Thanks for the question.
Good afternoon, sir. I have a different question, sir. Thousands, lakhs of youth now following you, sir, from our state. I belong to this state, sir. Sir, what is the vision for our youth of Odisha? Because you are right now a idol and torchbearer of our state, sir. You had visited 400 times in 4 years to make it prove our Parikrama Prakalp. You are also the collector. I belong to Chhatrapur, sir. You had wonderful works you have done in your career, sir. The same energy right now with you, sir. What is the mantra, what is the message for our youth of Odisha?
So as we all know that every society depends on its youth for taking the society to next level. Odisha is in the same situation. We are investing heavily in education. We are investing heavily, not just financially, but intellectually, on giving the best possible foundation in AI, in data computing, whatever is required for new world services. The youth of Odisha are getting exposed to that. You all saw the Parikrama project. It's only the starting of a huge transformation which the Chief Minister is dreaming of. He wants to set up the international airport in Puri. He wants to connect Puri and Bhubaneswar with a 8-lane highway, like how Gurgaon grew with Delhi, how Noida grew with Delhi. Same thing he wants to connect Bhubaneswar and Cuttack and Puri and Khurda. Make it a real metro. We don't have a metro now. If urban challenge, until unless you have a metro, you have a real metro in true sense, with a 1 crore population or optimum size metro, the state's growth cannot be taken to next level. You hit a plateau. The plateau can be broke only if you reasonably urbanize the population, urbanize our rural areas. So, if we think about what scope for youth, what dream for youth, I can't share everything because it will take time. But this is one thing, because you are all urban planners, I wanted to share that the Chief Minister's vision is to connect Puri, Bhubaneswar, Khurda and Cuttack. The first step being the rapid transport metro. We will get it done in 3 years. Like that, we will connect all these 4 towns and make it a true metro with the best of facilities, best of services, best of everything. In addition to whatever we'll do in urban sector, we are doing a great deal of work in education. I don't know whether you watched the school transformation video. We are the only state where all the high schools have been transformed. The children in high schools have access to digital classrooms, science labs, modern science labs, and all the best facilities which a student will get in an advanced private school or in an urban area school. We all know that whatever happens, 70% of the state children will depend on government schools, public schools. So until unless you make a dent in public education system of the state, especially in the higher education level, you can't make the youth to dream big. 70% of the youth also has to dream big. Then only a state will move forward. So you asked about the vision for youth. I gave 2 examples. There are many examples, but education will be the foremost. In addition to that, urban will also play a huge role, because from urban we'll get services sector, we will get jobs, we'll get IT, ITES, financial services, everything will be linked to how well we develop our urban areas, how good we create an ecosystem for development, and how good we deliver services in urban sector. That's when we get investments. Thank you. Time over, sir. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for that talk. It was really interesting, and then the calmness that you had and the clarity in what you explained is something I'll take back home. I would like to ask about a question, and probably that's not a familiar situation here in Odisha, because you have a leadership that has, a vision, people-centric, and it was about the example that you gave in terms of that pesticide or herbicide, which was potent and, life-taking. And it was easy probably for Odisha, for you to, ban it easily. But we several of us, and I think it's a reality that the government is not always as motivated and with clarity and with leadership. And for a government to say that, hey, I want to ban this pesticide, probably the agriculture department, or they are making some profit, right? I don't know if that were...
You are right.
So in that context, it's difficult, right? And how do you suggest for a government or situations, countries where the government does not have as unified and a clarity as you, but then to be people-centric, right? Because my department or my people are making money, there is a syndicate or whatever, and that becomes very challenging. So yeah, I think your experience or your insight would be very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. By God's grace, in my 23 years of service, I never faced this situation because our Chief Minister is there for the last 23 years. After I joined service in 2000, and from that day, he is the Chief Minister. So it will be very difficult for me to answer this very tough and practical question which you asked. If the leadership is not considerate, if the leadership is not transparent, I think democracy has a way of showing people who are not transparent and who are not, who are not compassionate, who are not pro-people. Why the Chief Minister here is so successful? He is in his 5th term. He is completing 24 years now. 24 years in a democratic, he is the longest serving Chief Minister of the country right now. And in every election, his vote share has only increased. Instead of having anti-incumbency, which is the most used term, here he is having pro-incumbency. And imagine the kind of scrutiny one goes through in the age of social media. It's huge. So I think the people of that place where you come from, they have to set it right. That's in a democratic setup, it is good. Once in 5 years, you get a chance to know and to assess people who have delivered or who have been pro-people or who have been transparent. If they are not transparent, a chance is given to the other. That way, the people of Odisha have been very, very sharp, knowledgeable, smart, everything, whatever you can say as an electorate, to recognize good work, to appreciate good work, and to give that confidence. Go ahead with doing the good work. We will be always there to support you. I think in this place, I'll give it to the people of Odisha that they have been so good in identifying whom they want to lead. And the leader has also not let them down. Perhaps the only suggestion I could tell is that even in tough situations, even when there are vested interests in play, even when there are corruption issues, one can be little more innovative to present your idea. And I can tell one thing in my experience, whatever experience I have, if something is going to catch the imagination of people, any ruler will appreciate, whether it is autocratic or democratic or corrupt. If something is going to catch the imagination of people and is going to give him dividend, he or she will get a political dividend out of doing that stuff. I think that is the only way I see it. That's how democracy also functions finally. Yeah, please.
Thank you so much for that wonderful speech. I have a question on, your aspirations for the future. In Odisha, the state is already doing remarkably well on urban development, and it's a model for the whole country. But going forward, looking forward, what are the 2 or 3 big areas where you want to take urban development in Odisha to the next level? Thank you.
So the latest multi-point poverty data came day before yesterday by the Niti Aayog. When the Chief Minister took oath in 2000, our poverty was almost 68%. 68%, one of the poorest states in the country. Right now, our poverty is 11%. So going forward, one of our biggest challenges, this 11% we should erase it at the earliest possible time, the fastest pace, how we can reduce this 11% and make it 1 or 2% or 0. That is the first aim we have for the state. That poverty should be a thing of past. It's erased forever from the soil of Odisha, number 1. Number 2, we are the second largest investing state in the country right now, only behind Maharashtra. Manufacturing investments. We want to change the portfolio of investment. We want not just in metal. We want in textile, we want in IT, we want in ITES, we want in financial services. We want more and more investment to come in new world economy. That is a big focus for us. This is the number 2 focus. Number 3 focus would be health. The Chief Minister has almost given universal assurance in health for the people of Odisha. 90% of the people of Odisha have got a credit card or a debit card, you can say. They can walk with this card to any hospital, whichever is a good hospital in the state or outside the state, and get treated. This kind of empowerment, nobody has done it. We will take this health assurance to the next level and make it the best state in providing health and education for its citizens. These will be the 3 top agenda for our coming forward. And the vision for Odisha, in the words of our Honorable Chief Minister, would be a new Odisha, an empowered Odisha. What do we mean by empowerment? A poor person is able to dream big. He has the guts to dream big things for big things. And he is empowered to achieve those big things. That is, in Honorable Chief Minister's words, an empowered Odisha. The population of Odisha should be aspirational and they should be able to dream big for their children. They want their children to be doctors, engineers, IT professionals. The poorest of poor should be able to dream for it and they should be empowered to achieve the same. Thank you. Sorry? Absolutely. Yes. The state has contributed, the Chief Minister has contributed. We are the only state in the entire world who is supporting a national team. Yeah. Absolutely. Please. Piche. Then you can ask. Huh?
Very impressive talk, sir. My question is, because you have touched upon different sectors and the groups, I'm just curious about understanding your work on the Odisha's stand on agriculture and what are your work on uplifting the small and marginal farmers, because I believe almost 45% of the workforce is in agriculture. So I'm just curious because that comes from the background. So yeah, thank you.
Good. So, a state's progress cannot be ensured without making a huge impact in your primary and secondary sectors. So, agriculture plays a major role. Our focus has been to, as Dr. M.S. Swaminathan says, first step should be greening the grays. That's what he always says. Gray areas are water, rain-fed areas. How much you can green those rain-fed areas is very, very important. So we know we have certain acreage of land even now dependent on rainfall. We have an aggressive scheme, aggressive initiatives to green those gray areas by means of in-stream storage structures, by means of megalift, by means of whichever way technically it is feasible. One is to provide irrigation, increase the irrigation potential. Number 2, crop diversification. We have a challenge of overproduction of rice in our state. We are too much dependent on rice. Our farmers are too much dependent on rice. That's a big challenge. In fact, I was talking to Bill Gates Foundation this morning. One of the challenges I mentioned was, we have to diversify our agriculture. High time. We have to go for value-added crops. We have to go for post-harvest technology. We have to improve on that. So number 2 is crop diversification. Number 3 would be our focus on post-harvest. We still have a huge hope in improving on post-harvest technology. They say that if you touch, I'm also an agriculture graduate. I studied in IRI. So if you touch seeds, just touch seed as a component, you will have 10% growth in farmers' income. You touch post-harvest, you will have 20% growth in farmers' income. thumb rule. So if we have touched seed to a great extent, now we have to touch post-harvest. Productivity is a bigger challenge. We have to continue to work on productivity. Happy to share that we have done very well for the past some years in fisheries and animal husbandry. Our growth rate has been really good. And you will be happy to know that we are the only state in the country to have doubled the farmers' income in the last decade. Authentic data. But our Chief Minister's target is we should triple the farmers' income, where the livelihood, animal husbandry and fisheries also have a role to play. It's a very general question. But three priorities are irrigation, crop diversification and post-harvest. These are it's not low-hanging exactly, but it will have a huge impact. Changing people through extension is a subjective topic. It takes time. Don't grow up paddy, grow sugarcane. You can achieve hundreds of acres, not lakhs of acres, thousands of acres. It takes time. But these are things which you can actually do and make an impact, please.
Sir,
you're not hungry? Yeah.
Sir, if you get that power, once in your life, you get to press the rewind button.
Sorry?
You get to press the rewind button in your life and you can go back. And if you can go back, would you want to change anything from what you have done?
I think with all conviction, I would say that I would not like to go back or rewind. Even if I go back, I think I would have done whatever best is at that point of time is what you can do, only you will see. You have a set of fixed parameters surrounding you. You have a set of parameters which you can influence and change. So within that set of parameters, how best you can function. If you function, I think you are satisfied. As far as I am personally concerned, I think last 23 years, whatever I have been in public service, thanks to the Chief Minister and the kind of governments we have in the state, to a great extent I am satisfied. I would look forward to reduce this 11% poverty, increase the growth rate, improve urban services, bring in IT, diversify not only in crop, but also in the kind of investment you are getting for the state. These are the things which we will focus in future. Thank you.
Thank you. It was lovely listening to you. My name is Shipra and I work for UNICEF in Odisha. 2-3 not very connected, but I would like to make short points. One is in Odisha, whether it's urban or rural, I have visited urban health facilities or rural health facilities. Remarkable, sir. It doesn't look like a government facility. It's so brilliant. So I just wanted to put on record that I think a lot has been done. So, one doesn't feel like going to government facilities, but they're so well maintained and high qualified doctors. It's very much appreciated. Second, I just wanted to say, sir, a lot of people used to move out of Odisha and still do. But if you see, when I used to stay in Delhi, a lot of masons were from Odisha. A lot of people are there in Tamil Nadu, a lot of people there in Gujarat. So I see a lot of investment on startup Odisha and startups. So can we have a more focus on going forward on green jobs and something on green skilling, because environment is becoming and climate change is becoming a buzzword. And the last point I wanted to mention that, sir, from Odisha, 5 youths had gone to COP28.
Sorry?
5 youths from Odisha had gone and attended the COP28. So we would like to have hearing out sessions, if possible, sometimes with you and with the
Absolutely.
people.
We can tie up that. We can tie up that, sir.
How more and more youths and youth voices, especially indigenous voices, could go up to national and international level. So if you could have your lending years, we would appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. As regards job creation, the state, any government should be aware of distress migration. Distress migration is something which we should try our level best to prevent. To a great extent, we have been successful in stopping distress migration, but still there is scope for improvement. When I spoke about investment, when I spoke about urban sector developing, all these things are focused on creating jobs. Primary, secondary, tertiary sector. How do you create more jobs? So that is how, when you know that you are getting manufacturing investment, we are getting the biggest textile park is coming in Odisha. You all must have heard about Welspun. They say that one in four Turkish towels which are used in US is made by Welspun. We are getting Welspun here with one of the biggest investment. Like that in every sector, whichever is job intensive, we are trying to get, and we have got a great program of Odisha Skill Development Authority. That's also doing really well. We want to create a brand like how Kerala is known for nurses or some other state is known for something like that. People of Odisha should be known for certain skills and they should demand respect at the global stage. That's what we are working towards. Matter of time, we should be able to get there. Please. Yes, please.
Good afternoon. This is Muhammad Amdadul Haq Chaudhary. I am from Bangladesh. I'm working with the government of Bangladesh. Thank you and congratulations for this wonderful transformation that's actually happened in Odisha. So far I understand actually there a very strong, powerful, motivated team is working behind this total work that has been done. How do you value the role of bureaucracy?
Sorry?
Role of the permanent bureaucracy in this whole journey? Okay. And the relationship between the political bureaucracy and the permanent bureaucracy. As per you, what is your idea? What is your thinking? Thank you.
At an individual level, it's always a challenge. Even between bureaucrats, there is a problem. It is the same with anyone. In your organization also, at an individual level, you will have your own personality, the way you interact, the kind of energy you throw around. So when it becomes two different verticals who share power, who share responsibility, who share sometimes common vision, sometimes countering visions, it's a challenge. And that's what happens mostly between political executive and the permanent executive. The best way to deal with it is always the political executive finally has the mandate of the people. So if we know that, we have to respect that mandate. You have to respect. Half of the problem, I think, is solved. That respect for that. You are not respecting an individual. You are respecting that electorate, what he represents, he or she represents. So that will give that breather. Okay, first thing, okay, this officer is very respectful towards me. So at least I will listen to him. The next thing is, by our own professional conduct, if we show that commitment, that integrity, it rubs a little bit even with the worst people. They say, okay, we'll manage him for some time and see how best we can do. But it's a challenge, like what you are, someone else asked some time back. In a system, how do you, there are no straight answers. You are from Bangladesh, I should share an anecdote with you. So you all know that Odisha is in the Bay of Bengal coast. We are near the neck of a peninsula. So we have great exposure to cyclones and disasters. Cyclones, super cyclones, floods. So one day I remember one of the senior secretaries, there was a cyclone prediction. So CM was taking a review. He came and he was very happy and he said, sir, cyclone is not coming to Odisha. He was very happy in telling. CM was also happy. It is going to Bangladesh, sir. We are not attacked. Like that, he was very happy. So CM said that there are people in Bangladesh also. So don't be so happy when you say that it's not coming to us, it's going to Bangladesh. You are from Bangladesh. I just thought that I'll share an anecdote that our chief minister doesn't want cyclones even to go to some other place and hit. On the lighter side. Thank you so much. Nice interacting with all of you. And thanks for your patience. I would not be having the age and experience to tell with authority what I have spoken to. So Please forgive me if I didn't do my job well. Thank you so much. Thank you.